Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh. Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Kodash Double Honor, son to the elder apostles at Great Millstone, for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 11, verse 1, titled, The Ammonites Defeated. Now, the Ammonites are the people that are nowadays called the Japanese. And I remember this game. Let me forget about it. It's just a game that I saw, and I saw the word Ammonite in it. But it was from a Japanese thing, so that's why I thought I would show it, but I'll just leave it at that. Couldn't 100% find it anyway, so I found it, but it wasn't the thing that I saw in the game. But anyway, 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. Now, Nahash, the Ammonite, came up and encamped against Jabesh Gilead, which is here. Now, Jabesh Gilead is here, and the Ammonites came from this over here, from Rabbah. That's their capital city. Just like how you have Jerusalem being the capital city of Israel, the Israelites. Then you have Rabbah being the capital city of Ammon, and you have Bozrah being the capital city of Edom. Right. So, yeah, and I think it was... No, let me leave that. Because I wanted to... what was it? Ramah? Ramah was the capital city of Rahab was the capital city of Egypt, if I'm correct. But yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, Egypt is known as Rahab. Wait, let me... Oh, man. Because I said it. Rahab. Here. No, that's that woman, Rahab. It's Psalms here. This one. Yeah, see, embolic name for Egypt. Emblematic, name for Egypt. So that was Rahab. Yeah, sorry. That was something else. Okay, cool. But sometimes you see in the scriptures it says Rahab. It's talking about Egypt, not about the harlot that was named Rahab that helped us in the time of Jericho. Right. So they went from here. They went here. And where is that? That's here. Where is it again? Jabesh Gilead. Here, sorry. Jabesh Gilead. And the Ammonites came from here and they went over here to go fight us. Right. Along their border and stuff like that. But anyway, going on. And all the men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, Make a covenant with us, and we will serve thee. Right. So, the men of Jabesh, wait, where is it again? Sorry. The men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, Make a covenant with thee, and we will serve thee. And Nahash the Ammonite answered them, On this condition will I make a covenant with you, that I may thrust out all of your right eyes, and lay it for a reproach upon Israel. So he wanted to humiliate the Israelites, the ones that were in Jabesh Gilead, which was Manasseh. Manasseh is territory. The green is Manasseh, the yellow is Gad, of course you can see for yourself. Judah, Reuben, Ephraim, and stuff like that. Done. So he wanted to humiliate them. And the elders of Jabesh, which was Gilead Jabesh, said unto him, Give us 7 days respite, that we may send messengers unto all the coasts of Israel. And then, if there be no man to save us, we will come out to thee. Then came the messengers of Gibeah of Saul, and told the tidings in the ear of the people. And all the people lifted up their voices and wept. And behold, Saul came after the herd out of the field. And Saul said, What aileth the people that they weep? And they told him the tidings of the men of Jabesh. And the Spirit of Yahweh came upon Saul when he heard those tidings, and his anger was kindled greatly. Right, verse 7. And he took a yoke of oxen, and hewed them in pieces. Yeah. And sent them throughout all the coasts of Israel by the hands of messengers, saying, Whosoever cometh not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done unto his oxen. And the fear of Yahweh fell on the people, and they came out with one consent. And when he numbered them in the Bezek, the children of Israel were 3,000, and the men of Judah 30,000. 300,000. And the men of Judah 30,000. So the northern tribes altogether, which is here, all of them, well, not just that, but anyway, all of them here, and the men of Judah were Judah and Benjamin were at 30,000. And they said unto the messengers that came, Thus shall ye say unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, Tomorrow, by that time the sun be hot, ye shall have help. And the messengers came and showed it to the men of Jabesh, and they were glad. Therefore the men of Jabesh said, Tomorrow we will come out unto thee, and ye shall do with us all that seemeth good unto you. And it was so on the morrow, that Saul put the people in 3 companies, so in 3 bands. And they came into the midst of the host in the morning watch. The morning watch is around 9 o'clock in the morning, so between 6 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock. And slew the Ammonites until the heat of the day. So until the heat of the day, you could say it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. That's when the sun is at its peak, and that's when the sun is hottest. And from there on down, the sun starts to go down. You know, between 12 o'clock midday, and so 1200 and 1500. Right, this spot over here, you know, on the clock. Right, so going on. And it came to pass, the day which remained were scattered, so that 2 of them were not left together. So they was all alone basically when they ran. And the people said unto Samuel, Who is he that said, Shall Saul reign over us? Bring the men that we may put them to death. Because that was in the chapter before this one. That was like, you know, some of them were hating when Saul was anointed. Let me see. Yeah, certain sons of Belial. But the children of Belial said, Belial basically is this, is a devil. They were devil-minded people. Because in the midst of Israel, you often have, I think it was always actually, you always had certain individual Israelites that would just sell their soul, or just worship Satan, or just be demonic type people, you know, stubborn, or whether it be not listen to the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahashai, not listen to the leaders that have been put over them. They will always find some way to fight against them, you know, because that's in their spirit. And they were often put to death, you know. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. And you had stubborn Israelites that later on they got themselves back together, you know. And then you had other Israelites that only when they see, then they believe. Like unbelieving Thomas. Only when he saw, that's when he believed. But other than that, he was kind of stubborn to persuade. You know, he was like, nah, I don't believe it. But he was one of the elect. He was one of the men that would be saved. Unbelieving Thomas. That's in the New Testament. That shows you that, you know, some of the people, their faith is just like snap like that. They're in it. And others are just a little bit harder to persuade. But they're still in it. Even though through your own frustration, keep on talking to them. But yeah, so it says here, verse 12. And the people said unto Samuel, Who is he that said, Shall Saul reign over us? Bring the men, that we may put them to death. And Saul said, There shall not a man be put to death there shall not a man be put to death this day. For to Yahweh, for today Yahweh had wrought salvation in Israel. Same thing with King David. King David said the same thing concerning Shammai. He spared Shammai also. At the end, Shammai curses David, yes? Wait. Right, so I found it. Now it says here, 2 Samuel chapter 19, verse 21. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, answered and said, Shall not Shammai be put to death for this, because he cursed the Lord's anointed? And David said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah, that ye should this day be adversaries unto me? Shall there any man be put to death this day in Israel? For do not I know that I am this day king over Israel? Therefore the king said unto Shammai, Thou shalt not die. And the king sware unto him. And Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king, and had neither dressed his feet, he didn't wash it, he didn't put nothing on, slippers and stuff like that, or shoelace with laces, nor trimmed his beard. So that shows you that normally he would trim his beard, and normally he would dress his feet. Let me read on. And had neither dressed his feet, nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes, from the day that the king departed until the day he came again in peace. So he basically somewhat swore to himself that as long as the king is not here, I am not going to trim my beard, I am not going to dress my feet, nor will I wash my clothing. I will basically be a stinker. Because to show that I am not agreeing with the thing that happened basically toward King David, of King David. So when King David is back safe and everything is back in order and good, then I will trim my beard. So this shows you that you are allowed to trim your beard as an Israelite, because a lot of people, when they come up in the truth for the first time, they might not know that you are allowed to trim your beard. You're just not allowed to line your beard up. As it says right here, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your head, neither shall you mar the corners of your beard. You know, people say like for example, I remember people saying also, Israelites, Jacob descendants, saying also that because that's not talking about your head, because your head doesn't have corners. That's just madness. It's just the corner of your head, because your head is not square, because they was talking about that you have a square head, and that's just madness. The circle-ish head, the oval, I don't know what shape this is, but this is your head, and these are the corners, here. Same thing with the earth, the four corners of the earth, the earth is a sphere. It's not a square or a flat thing. That's what a lot of people think nowadays because of Esau, his confusion. Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 20. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only pull their heads. So you are allowed, the point of this, me grabbing this, is you are allowed to basically cut the hair of your head, just not line up. You're allowed to pull your head, the hair of your head. Leviticus 21 and 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. Right. Now, if you read this, because I also met people that, they want to say that no, this only goes for the Levites. Because if you read the first verse, it says actually, Leviticus 21 and 1. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Speak unto the priests, the son of Aaron, and say unto them, There shall none be defiled for the dead among his people. So that goes into, for example, here, cutting yourself for the dead, and also making marks upon your body, which is cutting, and also make baldness upon your head for the dead. But for his kin that is near unto him, that is, for his brother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother. And by the way, this is let me say it good. This is talking about that he shall basically not be defiled, meaning he shall not come near unto them and stuff like that. For the other ones, you know, this is another form of being defiled. By, if you come near a dead body, then you're defiled for 7 days. So the priests, the Levites, were only allowed to do that for their close family members, you know. And I'm going to read the Deuteronomy 14 as what it meant there later on. Verse 3. And for his sister a virgin, that is nigh unto him, which had no husband, for her may he be defiled. Right, because if you come near a dead body, here you can read about it here in the book of Numbers 11 and 19:11. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean. Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, defileth the tabernacle of the Lord. And that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon him. This is the law. When a man died in a tent, all that come into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel, which had no covering bound upon it, it is unclean. So every open vessel is a glass, a can, whatever. If it's not sealed open, because it's sealed closed, if it's not sealed closed, which is bound, then that thing is unclean. And whosoever toucheth one that is slain with the sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, so you go and you lean on the grave or something like that, whether it be the dirt, whether it be the tombstone, shall be unclean 7 days. Right. So yeah, that. So only that are the Levites to do for their own family members. If it is like a friend of him or something like that, he can't do that. He can't go near that dead body. That is what this is talking about. Sorry, here. But you all, like I said, not like I said, but like I read here, you also had that among the Israelites that were trying to do what the heathen were doing, which is not what we're supposed to be doing. So making cuts for yourself and baldness upon yourself and stuff like that, whether it be for the dead, because it says here for the dead, or whether it be just you want to put tattoos, because you can't put tattoos upon yourself, neither normally, neither for the dead. So that's what I was talking about here concerning that. But yeah, so for them he may defile himself, but he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself. Right, because that's the job of the priests, to always be clean, in order for them to do clean work for you when you come to them with a blood sacrifice for your sins. So if he's unclean, then you come with a lamb or a turtle dove or a goat or an ox to do sacrifices for your sins or whatever, or the daily or the trespass sins or something like that. Or he needs to just do the daily sacrifice, like lighting up the fire that shall be perpetually lit, He can't do those things because he's unclean with somebody else's, with their dead bodies and stuff like that. So he can't do that. So people say that my point is of bringing this all up. Some people, they still want to line up and they say, no, this is talking about the Levites, only the Levites. No, it's talking about all Israel, even though it says, yeah, speak unto the Levites, the sons of the priests and stuff like that. It does say it there, but here it goes on further to say that, let me see. It goes on further to say that it's basically all the tribes, because it shows you right here. 2 Samuel 10 and 4. Wherefore, Hanun took David's servants and shaved off the one half of their beards and cut off their garments in the middle, even to their buttocks, and sent them away. And when they told it unto David, he sent to meet them, because the men were greatly ashamed. And these were no Levites. And the king said, tarry at Jericho, which is where Benjamin is, until your beards be grown, and then return. Right, because Jericho was given unto Benjamin. It says right here. So they were staying there. Joshua chapter 18, verse 21. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, and Beth Hogla, and the valley of Keziz, and also Jerusalem. Jebus, yeah. Jerusalem was also given unto Benjamin. Joshua, what did I just read? 21, yeah, Joshua 18:21, and now it's Joshua 18:28, and Zelah, Eleph, and Jebusi. I misspelled it. I put Jebus. Let me see something. It's still supposed to come. What did I just wrote then? Oh, Jesub. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, right. So Joshua 18:28, and Zelah, Eleph, and Jebusi, which is Jerusalem, because the Jebusites used to own that land back in the days. Gibeath and Kirjath, 14 cities with their villages. And their villages is talking about, and it's called the daughter villages, basically, the daughters. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. Right, so they had Jerusalem was of the Benjamites. North, and then later on, North Jerusalem, which was of Benjamin. Here you can see that. North Jerusalem was of Benjamin, and South Jerusalem was of Judah. So when it speaks of Jerusalem and the inhabitants thereof, it's talking about Judah and Benjamin, because they were together fighting against the other 11 tribes. Well, it was 10 because Levi wasn't called a tribe yet. But Benjamin. This is yeah, 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin. So the whole house of Benjamin, the whole tribe, and the whole tribe of Judah, because the house of Judah is talking about the lineage of Judah. Matthew, or was it Luke? Let me see something. Luke 2 and 4. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David. So when it says the house of David, it's only talking about the lineage of David. So when it says the house of Judah, it's talking about everyone that comes from Judah. So 100% of all the Judites. 100% is the whole tribe. So when it says the house of Saul, it's actually talking about the bloodline of Saul, the specific bloodline of Saul, which the rest of the tribe of Benjamin clinged onto. when the house of Saul was fighting against the house of David. The house of David is the lineage of David, and the house of Saul is the lineage of Saul. And then you had the house of Judah clinging on to the house of David for Judah's sake. And then you had the house of Benjamin clinging on to the house of Saul for Benjamin's sake. You know, they stood by their tribe, and the Judahites also stood by their tribe in the time of the war against Benjamin and Judah. That's what I was kind of talking about. Not kind of. Well, kind of, because I was talking about multiple things at the same time, but it's all linked up together. Right. So now going back to over here, which is, okay, so he had there. So, okay, tarry in Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. So he told his servants to do that. So this goes for all 100% tribes of the Israelites. They shall not line up their beards. And also, so here, for example, as you can see here, you have here underneath your neck, you have you have people that do this, or people that do this like this. Actually, you shouldn't be doing that. You should not line up this. You shouldn't do that. Neither do you line up here. These are the corners of your beard, of your head. You know, the corners. You can't do this. You can't do this. This is lining up also. Anything that is just, no, you can't do that. You should just leave it. But you are allowed to trim it though. Trim your beard. This, for example, let's say, well, it looks lined up, but it's just trimmed. So that's something else. This is lined up. This is lined up. Having this here done, but you can trim it. You can make it shorter. But this, you shouldn't be doing that. So this part that he cut off here, yeah, that's not allowed. This is allowed. This is allowed. He trimmed his beard. He trimmed here too. Yeah, but not lining up. So for some people it's hard. For some people it's easy. But those are just the traits of the flesh in this world. And yeah, so Lord willing, you know, you need to get rid of that. For some people it's hard, for some people it's easy. But to the faith of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, then it would work out. Here you can see he trimmed it, and here you can see he trimmed it also. But this is not allowed, by the way. But this is. And you don't need to trim your beard. Leviticus 13:40. And the man whose hair is fallen off his head, he is bald, yet he is clean. So that's another part, that if you have bald head Israelites, you know, they're still clean. And Deuteronomy 14:1, ye are the children of Yahweh your power. Ye shall not cut yourselves. No, so ye shall not cut yourselves, comma, meaning no tattoos. That's cutting into yourself. Whether you see it, you can clearly see it, because you bleed. When you put tattoos, you bleed. So you're cutting into yourself or stabbing into yourself. Nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead, which is what the East Indians do, for example. Wait. Oh yeah.
Take our lead, let's help you make your mark. Our goal is your satisfaction. Let us show you the way. Mourning, as they call it, is the ritual of shaving the head post the death of an elderly member in the family.
Yeah, you can read this for yourself if you have the time. This is the thing that these heathen do, but you have the Israelites doing it too, with heathenistic things within it, but still you have spiritual things in it too, biblical things, which this is just madness. Drink water from his corpse, if the husband is dead and all. They sleep with the dead body, just crazy stuff, just some satanic stuff.
Imagine losing your husband and then having to go through certain ceremonies while you're grieving and bereaving for the loss that just occurred to you. Welcome to J-Wave's Corner, where we cover controversial topics in Africa, debunk lies about Africa, and go deep into history. In today's video, we'll be covering death rituals in Africa, the Igbos, part 1. Let's get into it. Widowhood practices in West Africa are considered part of the cleansing rituals designed to remove the bond that links a living spouse to a dead one. These practices are deeply embedded in the culture. Therefore, anyone who doesn't participate in these practices are typically ostracized and possibly disowned by their family members. The Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria and West Africa have one of the most interesting widow mourning practices in Africa. In Igbo culture, widows suffer a disproportionate form of ritual cleansing compared to widowers. In Igbo culture, when a woman loses her husband, all her hair is shaved off from her head and pubic area with a blunt razor. The woman is compelled to cry loudly for a long, sustained period of time to represent mourning. The woman is also compelled to sleep next to the dead corpse till its burial. She is also forced to drink water which has been used to wash the dead spouse. If the woman isn't crying...
That's satanic. Not only are you unclean from the outside, you're unclean from the inside too. That's just madness. I just read about that in the book of Numbers 19. And also every open vessel. And of course that is an open vessel because it is how you call this thing again? A glass or whatever, you know, it could be a plastic cup. And then that water is poured in there. So that's just madness. This is satanic. And that's why the Lord told us not to do these things of these Hamites. But you have these Israelites living in the midst of these Hamites, so they're going to get their traditional satanic practices and stuff like that.
Crying loud enough, she is pushed to cry loud enough. She's also made to sit on the hard floor while she's doing all this crying.
So if she doesn't cry loud enough, they're going to push her to cry louder.
He also has to wear rags or filthy clothes to signify the fact that she's mourning. And if she's not...
So the filthy clothes, that's just madness too. But you also had the clothing of mourning. We did have that in Israel. She put off her widow's garment, for example, here. Widow's garment, which is Terah. Terah did that. And Judith did that also. Genesis 38:14. And she put her widow's garment off from her. See, she had a widow's garment. You also had the virgin garment. You also had the virgin garment, widow garment. So if they see you, they know you're a virgin. You also had, I think it was the one that, you know, she's a married woman. That one, those garment you had also. They have it unto this day in West Africa. You will know that the woman is married because she will wear something on her body, and she will be covered up, of course. But she will wear something on her body, like a cloth, a clothing, on the right side or on the left side. If it's on the left, she's free. On the right, she's taken, something like that. But they have other ways, you know. They have other tokens and signs to show that they are married or single. And yeah, so that's the virgin garment, and you have the betrothed garment. She's engaged. So you had all those things, right? And covered her with a veil and wrapped herself and sat in an open place, which is by the way the Timnath, which is, if I'm correct, is where Dan is. Here. Well, okay, leave that. Let me leave that. Don't have it right there on that map. I don't have it right there on that map, but now let me see. Sorry. Here. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. Which is another thing. When the brother dies, you are supposed to, as the widow, she is supposed to be given unto the brother. Right? That's another thing, by the way.
Crying hard enough,
Oh yeah, and Judith also had the widow garment on. I don't have to get that because it's literally the same thing. So, but Judith says, actually I will. Judith, the book of Judith 10:3, and she pulled off sackcloth, which is the time thing of mourning, as you can see here in the book of Deuteronomy. Or was it Isaiah 32? Isaiah 32 and 11. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Sackcloth is a sign of mourning. You are in the time of mourning. See, Aesop represents it right here. You are in the time of grief and mourning. This is what our people did do when they were in mourning. They would wear sackcloth, and sackcloth is the thing that you have. Let me see. Potato bags. You know, it's not a fancy clothing. It's just basically something put on that you can, you know, just go, like children, for example. You know, you don't put your most beautiful, you don't dress your children in these type of beautiful clothing in order for them to go play whether, you know, boys and stuff like that. You don't cause them to do this. Look at them pushing girls and stuff. That's madness. This is not a female sport, but you know, these devils are doing that on purpose. You know, because this is typically a boys sport, but they're pushing this on purpose. And most of the time when you see girls doing competitive type sports, they're lesbians, because they have a spirit of a boy. You should keep your, if you have daughters, keep them away from these type of sport activities, man. They should be playing with dolls and being all feminine and stuff like that. When they fall, they cry. Because these girls that be playing soccer like that, they're going to turn into a bunch of butchy beasts. You know, manly type. Keep them away from these type of things. But then again, hey, that's okay. That's your thing. Right, so, and gird sackcloth upon your loins, which is a sign of mourning. Why? They shall lament for the teats. So no more nurturings and stuff like that, because the teats represent nurturing. For pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. They're not going to get that anymore because they're going to be troubled. So, and pulled off the sackcloth which she had on, because she's a widow. She was a widow also. And put off the garments of her widowhood. You know, she took that away from her. She put off the sackcloths, pulled it off, and washed her body all over with water, and anointed herself with precious ointment, and braided the hair of her head. Because it shows you right here that the women, back in the days, the lawful women, 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse, let me see, 9. In like manner, 8. I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands. This is the same way that King Solomon was praying, and Esau makes you pray the same way too, because when he sticks you, when he pulls a gun in front of you, like, hey, stick him up, or you know, put your hands in the air and stuff like that. That's basically how you pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's how King Solomon was praying. Here, 1 Kings chapter 8 verse 22. And Solomon stood before the altar of Yahweh in the presence of all the congregation of Israel, and spread forth his hand toward heaven, and said, Yahweh, power of Israel, there is no power like thee in heaven or on earth beneath, who keepest covenant and mercy with thy servants that walk before thee with all their heart. Right. So, how do you pray? Lifting up holy hands and stuff like that, like as if you are arrested. You can do that. There's different manners of prayer, by the way. With biblical verses, you have different manners of praying. Let me see. Oh yeah, so I see it here. There's scriptures also on how you call that, supporting this. Here, First Chronicles. This one you have Nehemiah. You can stand, you can walk and pray, you can bow with your hands up. This is what King Solomon did. With your hands up, you can kneel if you want to, but your hands don't need to be in the typical prayer hand. You don't need to do this. That's their things. You close your hands here, because there are scriptures that shows you that when you pray, you open your hands as if you're going to receive something spiritual, and you are going to receive something spiritual. Also, you have the one that will lay flat on the floor and then pray. I'll put this link in the description box so you could check it out for yourself. Now going back to over here, lifting up holy hands. So he did that. This is King Solomon, and put a tire on, which is this thing over here. She braid her hair, and then sorry, headgear. No, mitri. Sorry, me. Wow, what the hell, mitri. This thing. What? This thing. She put the mitri on. You know, just like, let me see. Just like this. She put this on her head. And then you could most likely see her braids or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, she did braid her hair. In the other translations, it says she brushed her hair, which is totally off, because when you read this, you get a so-called black woman in your head. But when you read the brush, you get a Caucasian female in your head, or someone with straight hair. You know, they do that. Wait. Here you can see that. Judah 10 verse 3, it says she brushed her hair and tied a ribbon upon it. And let me see here. But a tear. And put a tear upon it. Which is that, well, wait a minute. That thing that I just showed. This thing. Okay. Well, maybe it's this then. Because I was looking for the word mitri. Okay, then. Good that I was corrected then. But, yeah. I just don't trust the, how you call that thing? Not all the time. But I don't trust the other translations. But in this case, I think it is good. I'm not sure, but I think. Yeah, put a tear upon it. Upon what? The hair of her head? Did she put it on her head, or did she put it on that? Anyway. And put on her garments of gladness. So you also had garments of beauty, wherewith she was clad during the life of Manasseh, her husband, because he died. So she put on her beautiful garment, which is also a sign that she was glad. And then when you would see her in the ancient time with those clothing on, you would know that she's happy, because she has all these happy, beautiful colors, like for example this. Because even nowadays people do this. When they are going to a funeral, they wear not bright colors, they wear black or white. You know, they don't wear all these fancy, beautiful colors at a funeral, right? But yeah, so right, so like I said about this thing, I'm not 100% sure. And braided the hair of her head, and put on a tire upon it. Upon what? Her hair or her head? I don't know. But anyway, she basically put something on her head. So here, 1 Timothy, which says, 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 8, and I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting. So don't doubt, and don't do it in wrath. In like manner also the women adorn themselves in modest apparel. So you need to be dressed as a woman, you need to be dressed modest. Like for example this. You don't need to have all these flower things, but you need to be beautifully covered. This is just madness. The long arms is just naked and stuff like that. No, this is beautiful. This is good. Like I said, nowadays they might have bullying tactics, which would say that, oh, you wearing a curtain, You know, you wearing curtains and stuff like that. But everybody knows you could just make jeans like they do it. The Arabs do it. Here you have a Jake that is Muslim. Here you have a Japhet that is Muslim. Here you have a Arab that is Muslim. You know, they can do it. So our people can do it too. Here you have an Edomite dressed modestly. You don't see no skin, no flesh, nothing. Only her face. If she had their head covered, that would be then basically perfect. Which is indicated here or modeled here, I should say. Which is yeah, which is this is what it represents, with shamefacedness and sobriety, which is being sober-minded, sober-spirited, not with broided hair, which is having your hair done fancy and stuff. This is broided. This is broided hair. This is broided hair. This is broided hair. Right, going on, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, which is expensive clothing, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. So you're supposed to, as a woman, according to the New Testament, you're supposed to wear modest apparel, not fancy Gucci and Versace and all those type of things. You're supposed to cover yourself and also be shamefaced, meaning not your titties out, your hair popped out all over the place, nor your hair with all these fancy works and stuff like that, you know. Black women hairstyles, you know, all this beautiful so-called walking around like this, walking around like this, walking around like this, all that there, you know. You're not supposed to be doing that. All that fancy stuff and stuff like this. This is just madness. And costly array, expensive clothing. Like they was bullying this guy on I Ain't Fresh. I Ain't Fresh, what a burger guy confronts girls. But anyway, I Ain't Fresh, Derek Lambert goes viral on TikTok. I don't know if you know about this guy, but they was mocking him that he didn't have fancy clothing on. This is a typical woman thing, which I know guys that do it too, which I don't like. That's just madness. You know, it's just madness. But yeah, going on. So that's the sackcloth versus the beautiful clothing. Anyway, ribbons and stuff like that. So she had it too.
She could be accused of being the reason why her husband died.
If you don't cry enough, they would accuse you like, so you're the reason why he's dead then, because you're not crying enough.
Not allowed to take any shower during this mourning period.
She was not allowed to take any shower. Mephibosheth did that too, concerning, no, he didn't wash his clothing, sorry. He didn't wash his clothing when he promised to himself, only when King David is back on the throne, when he's safe, then will I start washing my clothing again. Then will I start trimming my beard again. Then will I start doing all these other, you know, these things that he said that he would not do while King David is not on his throne. Right. Oh, here, let me see. Nor wash his clothing. Let me see. Oh yeah, dress his feet. That's what it was.
She is also not allowed to eat from any washed bowls. And this morning...
From any washed bowls. So she is only allowed to drink from dirty bowls. That's just madness.
It lasts a whole year. Finally...
For a whole year. That's just madness.
A lot of widows were typically married off to their husband's brothers.
A lot of widows were typically married off to their husband's brothers, which is another biblical thing.
A lot of people complain and call this abuse.
It is satanic rituals. That's what it is. It's not even abuse.
What do you guys think? Is it abuse or is it culture?
It's satanic things from the heathen nations, and the Israelites are not supposed to be doing that. Now, concerning the thing that you are given to your brother, that's what I just read here, which with Tamar. Tamar was supposed to be given unto Shelah, but she was not given. And also you had here, which is Deuteronomy 25 verse 5. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger, like other family, another tribe, or even other of the same tribe but not family. She can't do that. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her, which is sex. The duty of marriage is sex. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. So you have a lot of men that are childless, and then basically your name would be gone, right? But according to the book of Isaiah 56, it says that 56:3, neither let the son of the stranger that had joined himself unto Yahweh, the son of the stranger, this is talking about the Israelites, foreigners that came back into the fold, speaking, Yahweh had utterly separated me from his people. So neither let the son of the stranger say that because you're still a part of the Israelites. You might look like a Caucasian man, you might look like an Edomite, you might look like a Chinese, a Moabite, or you look like a Japanese, Ammonite. You still the seed of Jacob, if your forefather is so. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree, because you are symbolically a tree, and your fruit is your children. Or in another case, your fruit are your students, and you are that tree that teaches that student. Right. Let me see. The eunuch will get something much more better than sons and daughters. He will get an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. The Lord is going to cause that to happen for the eunuchs, the men of Israel that have no children and died and stuff. But they died in the Lord, by the way. The Lord will raise them up and give them a greater name than of sons and daughters. A better name than of sons and daughters, Because if a person has like 15 children, his name is already going to be great because he has. Look at that guy from the Wild and Out. I forgot. Nick Cannon. Everybody talks about him with his children. How many children he has and stuff like that, right? So anyway, you're going to have a great name if you have a lot of children. So yeah, this part, you can read the rest for yourself if you have the time. And you have here in the book of Matthew, is mentioned again. Luke also, and another one also, but I didn't put it here. And you have in the book of Ruth also, because this is talking about a brother, right? But if you don't have a brother, let's say you only have a cousin, then of the same forefather, like your grandfather had two sons. One son is your father, the other son is your uncle. And then the father, and then the father has two sons, and one dies. So now your brother died, the brother of the one died, and then you don't have nobody else. So now you need to go to your father, his brother's house, and then you go there. Sorry, let me try and explain it good. If the brother dies while his wife is still alive, then actually the brother is supposed to get it. But if that brother dies also, so two brothers died, and then the woman stays alone, because that is specifically what happened with Ruth. Ruth chapter 1. There's only 4 chapters with Ruth. So that specifically happened with Ruth. The two brothers died, and then she is now a widow, but the two brothers, their father, right, his brother, which is their uncle, also has sons, and then one of those sons is supposed to marry those two deceased one of them deceased brothers to his wife. I hope I said that good. It's in the book of Ruth, chapter 1, and also chapter 4, which I'm about to read right now. Then the cousin is allowed to have it, or the uncle himself. Because the uncle is the same bloodline as the father. So here's the father with the son, and the son, it doesn't have to be two brothers. I'll just keep it simple. This son has then now his wife, right? His wife. but this son dies. But this uncle of his has a son also, maybe 2, 3, whatever. Maybe he just have one son, okay? Just to keep it simple. And then this woman here is now supposed to go and lay with this one in order for them to bring forth child unto the father of these 2 men. Because it's the same bloodline. All of them are the same bloodline. So, it's the same person. Because it's the seed of this man here, this one here, that made all of these. Except for the woman, because that is not a seed. Right, and that is explicitly explained here. Ruth chapter 4 verse 5. Then said Boaz, what day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must thou must buy it also of thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabite, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, so that his name be not blotted out of Israel. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar mine own inheritance. Redeem thou that my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it. Because if you read I think it was the chapter before this, Boaz is going to explain that he's basically too old and he's going to get the younger one, which is more his the dead husband of Naomi. That was his cousin. But Boaz would be then the dead husband of Naomi. He would be his uncle, right? So in this case, Boaz is the uncle of Naomi's husband, right? Because it says right here, right? Let me see. Said unto kinsman that is come out of the country of Moab, said at the parcel, which was our brother Amimelech, which is here. Amimelech is the cousin of Boaz, but Amimelech, and the name of his wife bosom, with his 2 sons Malo and Chilion, and Amimelech's husband died. Naomi died. So Naomi's husband died. Okay. Then and her 2 sons. So her 2 sons were Malo and Chilion. So it says right here. Let me go to verse 4. Go to Ruth 4. Ruth chapter 4 verse 10, if I'm correct. Here. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Malo. So the point is that what am I doing here? Amimelech is the cousin of Boaz, and Malo is the son of Amimelech. So Boaz is Amimelech, his uncle. So Boaz looked for another nephew of Boaz, which is his cousin, but he couldn't. So he was talking to him, and he couldn't find one. So that's where this one. That's where this man came in, the kinsman. Right. I cannot redeem it. Now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. For to confirm all things, a man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor. And this was a testimony in Israel. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. Basically, he denounces all everything. Like, I ain't standing on nothing no more. You can have that, you know. And there were witnesses also, as you can see here. There were 10 witnesses here, 10 men of the elders, and said, sit down and come basically witness this. What would the deal with I'm going to do with him? Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. And so he bought the hand of Naomi. He bought the hand of Ruth, the Moabitess, from Naomi, because her husband Elimelech and their 2 sons, Chilion and Malon, died. So he bought it from her Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day. Right, so you bring forth the seed of all your forefather, which is the same seed, because they were all from. So Boaz and what's his name again? Elimelech, something like that. They were two cousins. They were two family members, but it goes basically to the same forefather. Most likely Boaz, his father, and Elimelech, his father, were two brothers, and those two brothers came from one father. So that would make them the same seed of the same forefather. So it would be just normal if you take that wife and make a child. If the brother is dead, then it goes to the uncle, or it goes to the uncle, his sons. Right. So that's what they do here. But the rest is satanic. So going back to over here. 1 Samuel 11 and 13. And Saul said, there shall not a man be put to death this day. For today Yahweh had wrought salvation in Jerusalem and Israel. Then said Samuel to the people, come, and let us go to Gilgal, and renew the kingdom there. And all the people went to Gilgal, which is... Where was that again? Sorry. Gilgal. Oh, man. Gilead, Galilee. Wow. If I can't find it, then I don't know, leave it then. It's supposed to be here. Sorry. Wow, man. Sorry about that. Gilgal is supposed to be here because it shows here, I think. No, it doesn't. I already seen it, but I'm trying to see if I see it on this big map over here. No, it isn't. Yeah, oh, it is. Wow, looking for it. So it's here. Yeah. Gilgal, which is where Samuel stayed, by the way, if I'm correct. Yeah. Yeah, reaffirm. So okay, let me go back to over here. Right. So they went to Gilgal, which is next to Jericho, which is in the land of which is in the land of Benjamin. No. It's in the land of Manasseh. Is it? Let me see something. No, it's in the land of Benjamin. Yeah. Right. So kind of next to Jerusalem. Okay, here. But anyway, it's cool. Right. So going back to over here. And there they sacrificed sacrifices of peace offering before Yahweh. And their soul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly. So yeah, there you have it. I hope I explained this chapter correctly. I mean, like, did a good work or something, job. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.